What he just said has Bills fans confused, to say the least. In the first open media since the bye week, Sean McDermott made some very interesting comments that has Bills fans wondering what the state of the team is at this point coming out of the bye. Hello everyone and welcome to Bills Digest. Josh Schreiber here for another video, and today, Wednesday, we had our first open practice since the bye week, and Sean McDermott had a lot to say in his media session that we're a little bit confused about, and feels like he's kind of contradicting himself here and there, but we'll dive into it in just a moment. Before we do, a reminder, 89% of you guys still not subscribed to the channel, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It helps us a lot. It helps you to get notified of when our new videos drop, so you could be first to Bills news. Well, without further ado, let's dive right in. So here is what really confused me. Sean McDermott was asked what the identity is of this Bills team, and he said, "I don't know if we're there yet." And that's okay. You just got to take it 1 week at a time. Well, I think for a lot of Bills fans, obviously not every team knows their identity right away, but seemingly the best teams typically do, especially a team that has been under the same coaching staff for as long as the Bills have won as many AFC East championships as they have in these past years, and really has not had crazy roster turnover from last year to this year. So to say that they don't know where the identity is or what the identity is at this point of the season, to me, is confusing and concerning, because it feels that way. It feels like the Bills do not know what their identity is, and it's a little bit painful to hear the head coach of the team reiterate that stance and kind of confirm that concern that Bills fans, or at least I am having as a Bills fan, through 6 weeks of the season. Obviously, at 4-2, the Bills are in a good spot in terms of the standings, but there is some concern about how they are getting those wins, and more importantly, how those losses are happening. The Bills are 3-21. The Bills are 4-0 against the teams that they've beat, obviously, and the teams that they've beat this year are 3-21. They've beaten the Jets, the Ravens, who I know did not have Lamar Jackson most of the year. They did against the Bills, but that was kind of a letdown, so to speak. They've beat the Dolphins as well, and they have not looked sharp in most of their wins, and that is what has been the real concern. And of course, that Saints game as well, which I was forgetting, but they have not looked their sharpest whatsoever in any of their games this year. The Jets game was different. The Jets are 0-7 now. They are not a good team by any measures whatsoever. So obviously that game has to be a destruction, and it was. Give the Bills credit. You got to win the games you play. But it is concerning that their last 2 games have been 2 losses to teams that they should be better than, but are a little bit better than the teams they've beaten. A big reason for these losses that the Bills have had, and their shaky play as well, has been the injuries that they've had to deal with. There are some new developments that we heard from Sean McDermott today in their media session. Daquan Jones and Josh Palmer are both week to week. They will not practice today, and it seems like neither of them are in line to play on Sunday. Taylor Rapp also will not practice. They've said that he's somewhere between day-to-day and week-to-week, so we will see if he plays Sunday. And then some other news, he said that Dalton Kincaid, Matt Milano, Terrel Bernard, and Curtis Samuel are all limited in Wednesday's practice. Now, at the time of me recording this, practice is currently going on as we speak. And I have seen some videos starting to circulate of Matt Milano, of Terrel Bernard, both of them practicing and going through some tackling drills with just, whether it's the sleds or tackling dummies. We'll see if they actually go man to man, and if they are really tackling in practice today and throughout the week. But of note that Dalton Kincaid is practicing today, hopefully without that non-contact uniform that we saw all of last week, because they could really use their number one receiving threat. Some other injury news and just status news. Both Michael Hoecht and Larry Ogunjobi, video coming on them tomorrow, they could play Sunday, so it's not a guarantee, but they're both healthy and they both are getting accustomed to the team right now. McDermott, when asked if IR was a possibility for Joshua Palmer and or Daquan Jones, all he said was, "We'll see." So that is definitely concerning, because Sean McDermott has not been shy to say IR is not what we're looking for right now with other guys who have been week to week. One example of that was Dalton Kincaid. They asked him if IR was possible, and he said no to Dalton Kincaid. So that is going to be something to keep an eye on. If Joshua Palmer and Daquan Jones both miss another week or so, or headed into the Chiefs game after this Panthers game, if they are both still not practicing, we may see IR stints for either one of them. Both of them are essential for the Bills, whether it's on offense for Joshua Palmer. We saw him start to have a breakout game in the Falcons game before he got injured on just the second possession of the ball game. And Daquan Jones, he is some much needed depth on the defensive line. And we've seen exactly what teams can do when he is not on the field. Bijan Robinson being a prime example of that. The other name that Bills fans are highly anticipating his return, Maxwell Hairston. We heard Anthony talk to you guys about what Hairston be having his 21-day practice window opening up, what that means to the team, and how bad the secondary has been. McDermott brought up the point that it's not just physical for what Maxwell Hairston needs to get ready for as he prepares to play his first snaps this season. He said at least 50% of his preparation of that missed time is going to be on the mental side of things. It's not just a physical thing for Hairston getting that knee right that he dealt with in training camp. It is also going to be getting ready mentally to play in a ball game, and playing in a ball game when Bills fans have been clamoring for a savior on defense. And Maxwell Hairston, as a rookie, albeit a first round rookie, Bills fans cannot expect him to go in and just be a game wrecker right away. Obviously, he's a rookie. He's going to make his mistakes. I think what Bills fans are just hoping for is a little bit of consistency and some flashes of first-round talent. So, obviously, he's got to get over that physical hurdle, but Sean McDermott highlights the mental hurdle here as well. Now, let's get into some good news, because we've had a lot of bad injury news, but Sean McDermott said over the bye week he was able to do a ton of self-scouting on the team. He said he was just itching and fidgeting all week long, trying to figure out what was wrong with the team and where they could find ways to improve. And he said in the bye week he was able to find some clarity on what is happening with the team and where are areas that they can grow. One of those areas that McDermott said they can grow is on the offensive side of the ball. He said, we're very capable of performing at a higher level on offense, when they asked him about, the struggles that they've had these past couple of weeks. And I have to say, I absolutely agree with that sentiment. Obviously, this is a Bills team that does not have a lot of new pieces on offense. They still have the reigning MVP, Josh Allen. We have seen this team sputter at times offensively, just like any team in the NFL, really. And one thing that Bills fans have to keep an eye on is around the league. You are going to see teams struggle, and although that we have this rivalry with the Chiefs and it seems like they never struggle, it's really not the case. They're just able to win those games, and we've seen it already with the Chiefs this year. They have struggled offensively, but it's taking them some time to get into their own. They're finding their groove. The Bills should find their groove offensively. That should not be something Bills fans need to worry about. Now, what else did the Bills work on in their bye week? And the big thing that Bills fans were talking about and media was talking about was their 30 flags that they have racked up the last 3 games. He said the spotlight has been shined on those penalties and it has been addressed. That is what Bills fans needed to hear, because that is a big reason why the offense has sputtered the way that it has. We see McDermott said in his press conference, detail and discipline leads to execution for offense, defense, and special teams. The discipline is what really catches my eye here, because they have not been disciplined, and that has been very, very unlike the Buffalo Bills that we know from past seasons, where they have had the fewest penalties in all of the NFL last season, and really in past seasons under Sean McDermott. They have done a very good job of staying disciplined and not drawing too many penalties. That has not been the case these past 3 games, and that absolutely needs to change, and I'm happy to hear Sean McDermott take a strong stance there. As far as Taylor Rapp and this safety situation, we did just hear about this Taylor Rapp knee injury that apparently he sustained in training camp. He will not practice. They said he is somewhere between day to day and week to week. We are trying to figure out exactly what that means. It sounds like he's not going to play this week, and we heard some quotes by Sean McDermott on that when asked about Jordan Poyer. He said he wouldn't be back on the Bills, he means, if we didn't have a lot of confidence and trust in him still as a player. We'll see where situation goes with Taylor Rapp. We have other safeties as well. So basically saying Jordan Poyer is there if we need him. We have other options if we feel like we need that too. Taylor Rapp has been sidelined in practice this week, and this is something that is very interesting to me, because we have not heard about this injury that Rapp sustained in training camp, and perhaps this has been a reason why he has struggled so much this season. Obviously, we know him as the guy with the Guardian cap that flies around all over the field like a shooting missile, and he just has really not looked like a good tackler whatsoever this season. You wonder if that is that knee injury bugging him a little bit. You wonder if it could be something else. But either way, Sean McDermott says that he feels confident in Jordan Poyer replacing Rapp if he needs to, and that they also have other safety options to do that as well. So those were some of the most interesting things that Sean McDermott said from Wednesday's media session. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that he said that strikes you. Maybe it's something I didn't cover. Maybe it's something you don't think I covered enough. But let me know in that comment section, and subscribe to the video. Thank you so much. This has been Bills Digest. We'll see you tomorrow for another video.